coming up on School Matters. They've traveled halfway across the globe to visit our schools, and they've brought some singing and dancing with them. What country these students are traveling from, and what they say they like most about our district.
All right, and if you repeat after me, nice loud voice. I state your name.
Some of the youngest students in our district are taking an oath of office with the help of a Duval County judge. What school held this unique ceremony for their kids, and what positions these students are taking on? Plus, Dr. Nikolai Vitti is on the job and making the rounds. Why the new superintendent is traveling all over the city, and the valuable information he wants from teachers, staff, and the community. School Matters starts now.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on this episode of School Matters, your number one source for district news. I'm Julian Robertson.
And I'm Isabella Groff. Reporter Alexis Grant is standing by with a 17th century transformation inside one of our middle schools, how a group of 8th graders is taking on Shakespeare.
Our Evan Fernandez is also in the studio with our new superintendent, Dr. Nikolai Vitti. He's got the latest on what our new leader is doing to reach out to schools, the district staff, and the community. That leads us to our top story.
Dr. Nikolai Vitti is wasting no time as the district's new leader. Just a couple of months into the job, Dr. Vitti has been traveling all over Duval County. His goal? To learn and hear from you.
Our School Matters camera crew has been there as Dr. Vitti continues to make his journey. Here's a look at where he's been and who he's talking to.
Yeah, we appreciate his being here for an hour and a half with our audience.
That's Dr. Nikolai Vitti with a local news anchor. This is a live newscast, and this is a live studio audience. You're looking at a video from a forum called Ask the New Superintendent. You guessed it, viewers had a chance to call into the district staff and ask our new leaders some questions. At the same time, the district maintained a live Twitter feed to make sure everyone had a chance to stay updated. Being a part of this event isn't the only thing Dr. Vitti was doing to connect with our community. He also visited our schools. Check this video out of Dr. Vitti on the class cam. Here he's visiting Wolfson High School.
You have the new superintendent here, standing in front of you, and I'd like to just hear from you with what you think is working right now in our school district and what isn't, and what do you think we need to do differently.
Dr. Vitti also held a series of forums for school-based employees. He not only wanted to share his vision, but also get feedback. He held one meeting for people working in middle and high schools, and another for those working in elementary schools. Don't worry, Dr. Vitti didn't forget about the parents, teachers, or anyone else interested in education. Dr. Vitti is holding town hall meetings in all 7 board member districts. Here are the first few photos from the first 2 meetings. So, whether he's on TV, on the radio, or in our schools, it's clear the new leader of Duval County Public Schools is on a mission to get to know you better and hear what you have to say. The remaining town hall meetings will all take place in January, and they will begin at 6 p.m. District 3 meets at Inglewood High School on the 8th. District 4 meets at Ribault High School on the 15th. District 5 meets at Rains High School on the 17th. District 6 meets at Ed White High School on the 22nd. And District 7 meets at Mandarin High School on the 24th. For more information, visit duvalschools.org.
We know that with every place Dr. Vitti goes, he's hearing a lot from the community.
School Matters reporter Evan Fernandez is here with the superintendent right now. Evan?
Hey guys, getting out into the schools and into the community is part of Dr. Vitti's 100-day plan. The ultimate goal is to put children first. Thanks for joining us today, Dr. Vitti. First of all, what would you say are some of the most common things you're hearing from the community?
I would say one is the demand to be a great school district. And the desire to do things differently in order to get us there. That's certainly a theme. Another theme is the willing of people to contribute to making us a great school district. 2 things that definitely are coming out consistently.
Okay. Oh, you were part of a forum at First Coast News, and a lot of questions came in from the community. Here's one. Explain why you wanted to reduce the number of district tests that teachers have been administering in classrooms.
Well, the major reason why we made that decision was to give students like you more time to actually learn and to give teachers more time to teach. Our schools are built to engage students in learning, and we can't do that if we're testing. And a lot of our tests weren't giving the kind of data that's needed to do things differently, even when gaps are existing in the results. So bottom line was more time to learn and more time for teachers to teach.
Okay. Here's another question from that forum. Dealing with a tight budget has been hard the last couple of years. Do you look to make some changes in the future?
Well, one, we have to gauge Tallahassee to make sure that public education is funded at the minimum, at the average level that other states are throughout the country. And then secondly, we need to be much more efficient and innovative with our current funds. So when we have areas where we're spending money too much on the same thing, we have to get rid of one thing and then move that money to something else.
Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Julian and Isabella, we're going to hear from Dr. Vitti again later in this show. Here's a hint. It has to do with the holiday season. Back to you guys.
We look forward to it. Thanks, Evan.
So we're going to shift gears a bit and talk about Shakespeare. Isabella and I happen to be theater buffs, and it looks like we've got some stiff competition. Alexis Grant joins us with the story.
Hey guys, most students don't start studying the works of Shakespeare until they're in high school, but these 8th graders at James Weldon Johnson College Preparatory were up for the challenge. Welcome to the early 1600s, a time of extravagant balls, fine foods and goblets, kings and queens. It wasn't enough for 8th graders at James Weldon Johnson College Preparatory to simply study Shakespeare's play, Twelfth Night. They put on this Renaissance fair to get a greater sense of the history and culture of Shakespeare's time.
I just think that it is so cool to see so many 8th graders excited about Shakespeare. You usually see them excited about their cell phones or Facebook or, but for a month and a half we've studied Shakespeare, and they can talk to you about his style and his intended audience and the social commentary he used.
8th graders gathered in the school cafeteria, dressed up in period attire, and brought in masks they made in class. Once they were seated, their kings and queens were presented and seated at the front table. Students performed Twelfth Night for their peers.
Oh, my leave, I pray you. I beg you never speak of him again.
At first it was a bit over my head, but the version of Shakespeare that we read had English version on one side, or should I say the normal version on one side, and then the Shakespeare version on the other side. So it was a lot easier to understand it doing that.
It was obvious. Students were not only able to follow along with the performance, but they also enjoyed it.
I think I did learn a lot because I think Shakespeare was mostly, he had deep feelings, and now we can, as reading the feelings and acting out the feelings, we understand greater.
With the intermission came time for the students to eat. Volunteers with the school's PTA served students food. Okay, so maybe it wasn't real Shakespearean food, but students were happy to chow down and to watch another performance before the play resumed. All in all, language arts teacher Molly Peterson counts this Renaissance Fair as a success.
They always surprise me because they always go above and beyond what I would expect an 8th grader to do. They're stepping back from a piece of literature, not just studying something in a vacuum, but seeing that it was a part of something else. So really laying over that history foundation with the literature helps them, realize what shaped Shakespeare, therefore what shaped his work.
Students we spoke to, they believe this experience is shaping them for success.
Most people think that Shakespeare, he's just a playwright, but if you read the novels and study the work that he did, you will begin to learn more, you'll begin to appreciate it. And I think everyone on my team, as well as 8th grade, did appreciate this.
I think it's really cool that we get to have this experience that most high schoolers have at such a young age, and that puts us so much ahead of many other schools.
Teachers at James Weldon Johnson say that they are one of the only middle schools that studies an entire Shakespearean play in its original language. They say it's hard work, but the key is to learn it in baby steps. Isabella and Julian, I think we can learn some lessons from those students. What do you think?
They're pretty good, Alexis. Maybe they'll join me in theater next year.
We've got more cool stories coming your way.
Hey, do you have a minute? I was thinking it's time for us to have that talk. About what I need to do before I finish high school.
We've got the inside look at a new district campaign aimed at making sure high schoolers have the tools they need to graduate. Evan's joining us with an interview you won't want to miss.
And they're being sworn in by a Duval County judge, the unique inauguration ceremony that took place on one of our elementary schools, and what the ceremony means. You're watching School Matters, and we'll be right back.
My name is Christopher A. Smith. I'm in the 12th grade and I attend Robert E. Lee High School. While at Robert E. Lee, I participated in the Early College Magnet Program and I have completed and obtained 63 credit hours. Advice I would give to an incoming freshman into the Robert E. Lee Early College Program would be just stay focused, stay determined, stay motivated. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice days hanging out with your friends, but in the end it's all worth it because you will be highly rewarded. You'll get into a good school and you will make good grades.
Darcy Overmeyer. I'm in 11th grade and I go to Baldwin Middle Senior High School. While at Baldwin, I've taken many AP classes starting in 9th grade, and I took one last year and then I've taken 4 this year. I've definitely met my own goals. I mean, I've taken as many AP classes as I can, and so I just think I'm definitely well equipped and prepared for college, and I'm very excited about it.
I'm Courtney McLean. I go to Mandarin High and I'm in the 12th grade. In my honors and AP classes throughout my years of high school, I do think that I met my personal goals in that I very much took advantage of my educational opportunities, and I used those opportunities to excel on my ACE and AP exams at the end of every year to gain college credits.
Malik Jackson in the 12th grade, and I attend John Rebolt Senior High School, and I am an IB student there. I'm a part of the inaugural class. When I found out Rebolt was going to have an IB program, and I live on the north side, northwest side specifically, like maybe 5 minutes away from the school, it just seemed like a perfect fit. And I just think it's really beneficial to be a part of a program. I'm an IB student, but I have friends that are in ACE, early college, you name it, and they've all enjoyed and they've all have benefited from being in those programs. So I just think it's a great opportunity to just join an accelerated program in general. IB promotes you being able to think for yourself. The IB wants you to be the complete package as a student, and I think that's fantastic.
Hello, I'm Dr. Nikolai Vitti, Superintendent of Duval County Public Schools. I'd like to take this time to wish you and your family a safe and joyous holiday season. This year, consider giving the gift of reading. Parents, as you gather with your children, I encourage you to read along with them, or consider taking a trip to your local library where there is something for everyone.
From our family to yours, Happy Holidays!
And remember, school starts January 2nd.
Hey, do you have a minute? I was thinking it's time for us to have that talk. You know, about what I need to do before I finish high school.
It's a new approach to making sure students and their families are ready for an important milestone, graduation. If you haven't seen that video already, you may be seeing it soon. It's what high school guidance counselors will be playing for their 10th graders and their families when they meet to discuss graduation.
But that video is just one part of the conversation. Evan Fernandez is in the studio with the district supervisor of guidance. She's got more on why the district is using this approach.
Nan Warsowich has been working with counselors to help them set up these meetings. Why is the district doing this a little differently this year, and why work with 10th graders?
Well, you know, we provide lots of information to students about graduating from high school, post-secondary options, but we know not all of it gets home. So we've been looking at different ways to try and communicate with parents, because parents are really such a valuable piece of the puzzle in order for kids to be successful and to maximize options and opportunities. So this year we're inviting parents in. So parents could always schedule a conference with their school counselor, but this time we're inviting them before, during, after school. Some schools are even going to set these meetings up on Saturdays so that the parents can have a chance to sit down with the student and the counselor to talk about what are the next steps for graduation and what do you need to do to maximize opportunities for after high school.
Okay. What kind of information can parents expect to get at these meetings?
Well, we have 2 new resource guides. One kind of is a check sheet of things that you need to do in 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grade to make sure you've got all the opportunities if you want to be an athlete, if you want to go in the military. This will walk you through step by step. We also have a resource guide to explore careers, to talk about test prep, to find out different places where you can go to check your Bright Future Scholarship starting in the 2nd semester of 9th grade and on. They'll also get a personalized graduation tracker that gives a transcript that talks about what credits have been earned, what still needs to be earned, what your GPA is, what your current class ranking is, information on your attendance. Also, there'll be a place to be able to plan what you need to do for next steps to graduate from high school, and then again, what your plans are for after high school.
Okay. What are some ways that parents can help their students stay on track to graduate?
Well, number one, they need to track their kids' grades through the parent portal. It's really important that you intervene early when they're not being successful in school to get them some extra help. Don't wait until they've already failed a class. Number two, after even the first semester of 9th grade, they can request a copy of the child's academic history, which is going to give information on the credits earned, credits still needed to graduate, what the current GPA is, which is important for sports if you want to do athletics, or when you want to graduate, you need a minimum of a 2.0. I would also encourage them to schedule a conference with their school counselor. Find out, what kind of safety nets are available. Is there a way to earn credits if they've gotten behind? Talk to the counselor about the online and Florida virtual school options.
Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
In just a few minutes, you'll have a chance to find out even more about these meetings. Right after we take our next break, we'll play that graduation meeting video in its entirety. If you ever have questions about getting ready for graduation, visit duvalschools.org and look under Guidance Services. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Evan. Not many of us can say we've taken an oath before a judge, but today, a group of Duval County students can.
It's part of a magnet program at North Shore Elementary School. Alexis Grant has all the details. Hey, Alexis.
This ceremony was as official as you could get. Students had to raise their hands and repeat after a Duval County judge.
All right, and if you repeat after me. Nice loud voice. I state your name. This is where you say your name.
All kidding aside, this turned out to be a very serious ceremony. It took place in the gymnasium at North Shore Elementary School. Hundreds of kids watched as their peers got sworn in as mayors for the school's micro-society program. That was just one part of the ceremony. It began with every student honoring the country by saying the pledge, and it ended with Principal Hardaway presenting a special thank you to the Duval County judge who helped swear the students in. So we wanted to know, how did the judge feel about being a part of this ceremony?
It's a true honor for me. My wife was a teacher here for a number of years, and I felt like I couldn't have asked for a better honor and privilege to come and see these children in a setting in their home, in a situation where they're doing wonderful things within their school.
Well, he was honored. Just up there when I presented him with the certificate, he said, I have tears in my eyes. He said, this is so exciting, and I'm so happy that you guys invited me and the work that you all have done here at North Shore Elementary School. So that meant a lot to me that he actually follows the school as well.
So you may be wondering, what is micro-society? And why do these students need to have mayors? Well, you're looking at a video of micro-society in progress. It's a school-wide program that teaches kids about government, business, and responsibility. Students work in a society where they each earn North Shore dollars and make fun products to sell. Students will then take part in Micro Society Day, where they buy and sell those products. And just like any regular city, they have leaders. And each year, different students are elected to become mayors in the Micro Society. We asked this adorable little boy what he likes about being mayor.
The teacher get to help me and help other students, and I get to help other students too.
So why not make a real world connection to what's going on in the real world and say, okay, in my school we had an election, and now when the president gets in office in January, they can say, hey, I did that as well. I was a part of something like that at my school.
And in case you didn't know, North Shore Elementary is one of many Duval schools that made great progress last school year. They went from having a D grade to having a B grade. Back to you guys.
We're almost done with School Matters. Coming up, these students traveled all the way from Singapore for the chance to spend a few days in our schools, what they've learned and why they're dancing.
And we're giving you a sneak peek into the next episode of Real School. But before we break, we want to make sure that you're getting to know us a little bit better. So, here's your chance to meet one of our hosts, Alexis Grant.
Hey, do you have a minute? I was thinking it's time for us to have that talk. You know, about what I need to do before I finish high school. I'll be walking across that stage and getting my diploma before you know it. And it's really important to me that we start planning now. That way I know what all of my options are. And I'm ready for my future. Actually, I think it'd be a really cool idea if we met with my school counselor, who can help us with everything we both need to know.
You know, you make a really good point, and the district is doing something new this year to help you out. We're setting aside time for counselors like me to meet with 10th graders and their parents or guardians. It's time for us all to get together to set goals for your graduation. But not just graduation, life after high school. So what will these meetings look like?
For starters, we're gonna get one of these. It's a personal graduation tracker. This lets me know what I need in order to graduate. You can see how many credits I've earned so far, what courses I'm in now, and you can even see my grade point average. Did you know that I need at least a 2.0 to graduate?
That's not all. The graduation tracker has information on my attendance, and it also lists out my test scores. These scores not only affect my graduation, but also whether I'm able to get into college. This is all really important because with this tracker, you'll be able to help me set the goals I need to earn my diploma and make sure I'm ready for what's next after graduation, like going to college, entering the workforce, or joining the military.
You're also going to get another handout. It's called Post-Secondary Milestones. It's meant to make sure you're doing everything you need to do as a 10th grader. For example, have you taken the PSAT yet? And have you checked if you're eligible for the Bright Future Scholarship? You'll also find out what you'll need to do to remain on track as an 11th grader and as a senior.
Finally, you'll also get one of these, a high school, college, and career resource guide with a lot of really great information and websites. Like, what are the promotion requirements I need to accomplish now in order to move up to the next grade? What are the tests I need to take to graduate? What websites are out there to help me with college and career planning? And what free resources are out there to help me prepare for the tests?
I'm really glad we're having this talk.
So am I.
Me too.
With your support and with the help of my school counselors, I know I'll be ready for my future.
Get this, Duval County is more than 10,000 miles away from the Republic of Singapore.
But students with the junior college in Singapore bridged that gap when they came to Jacksonville for a visit.
They have a lot of school spirit.
And I learned that everyone at Singapore is a cheerleader.
The first week of their high school career, all they do is just spend time cheering for their high school. So.
What better day to cheer than on a sunny afternoon at the Stanton College Preparatory School? Students visiting from Stanton's sister school in Singapore are showing students here a piece of their culture, which includes cheering for their school. It didn't take long for students at Stanton to show them their own school cheers. It was clear that although these students come from across the globe, they had a lot in common, and they got along like old friends.
They were my friends automatically. They were so friendly, and they share with us a lot about their culture, their favorite activities, and their sports. And I was able to learn a lot from them.
One very distinct thing that I see in America as compared to Singapore is that the people here are very much friendly. Everyone, regardless of whether you know each other or not, how's your day? That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth.
This is the 5th year that the Anglo-Chinese Junior College in Singapore and Stanton College Preparatory have been sister schools. Students from Singapore come to visit for a few days and vice versa. Each year, this group from Singapore gets bigger and bigger. This year, there are 27 students. Students from Singapore are paired up with leadership students from Stanton, and they spend a few days going to their classes, learning about a different way of life.
The student and teacher interaction here is really good. I've been to so many classes here this few days, and the teachers and the students just have such friendly relationships with each other, and they just talk in class, and I actually understood better, and I felt more involved and engaged in the classrooms.
It's really cool. When we talk to the Singapore kids, we try to introduce them to new things like sports such as foursquare and lacrosse, and they've never heard of these sports, and they think it's pretty cool. And the the food, when we introduce them to the food, the fried chicken and the Chick-fil-A milkshake, they really love it. So.
But don't worry, some of these Stanton students will soon get a taste of Singaporean culture. Teachers tell us 11 students from Stanton will be headed there in the spring.
What an exciting opportunity. Speaking of being excited, I know a lot of you are happy to spend time with your family and friends over the break.
So is Dr. Vitti. In fact, he recently made a trip to Sally B. Mathis Elementary School to help students ring in the holiday season with a sweet surprise. The surprise? Every student in the school got a stuffed animal and a bag full of gifts. That included toys and plenty of books to take home. Students had no idea they were getting these presents, but the surprise didn't stop there. Evans got the scoop.
Dr. Vitti, you were there with St. Nick and you saw a lot of these students getting books as gifts. Why is it important that students read, even during the holiday season?
Well, our teachers are working with our students awfully hard, and there's a lot being learned. And during the break, a lot of times students aren't reading, and a lot of what's learned is lost over that break. Right. So you want to continue to build on the skills and the strategies that were learned during the school year. And it's just a good practice to always read anyway, to build your background knowledge and to understand the world better and even yourself much better through reading.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Vitti. Have a great holiday season.
Thank you, you too.
Happy holidays to you guys too. Back to you.
Thanks, Evan. We've got one last story on School Matters.
It's time to hear from our friends from our other district show, Real School, and let's see what they're working on.
Hey guys, I'm Vicky, one of the producers at DCPS TV. I know you're not used to seeing me, but we gave our regular hosts the month off, so I'm filling in. But don't worry, you will still see Lola, Vaishnavi, and D'Angelo. It's goodbye 2012 and hello 2013. For this episode of Real School, we're doing a year in review. We're going to take a look back at some of our favorite stories from this school year and some of our favorite moments from all of our hosts. And what would a show like this be without some funny moments? We'll show you a few bloopers from all of our hosts. I promise, nothing too embarrassing. Well, maybe a little embarrassing. But we also want to keep you up to date with what's going on with our schools. We're taking you to the University of North Florida, where hundreds of elementary school students got to be a part of an exciting basketball game. UNF played a team not too far from home. Want to know who won? Well, you'll have to watch to find out. The next episode of Real School premieres January 6th at 10 a.m. on WJCT. I really think you're going to enjoy seeing a different side of our hosts. In the meantime, I'll send it back over to you guys. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
From all of us and the superintendent, have a great day and thanks for watching.